How does a CBD Tailor survive and actually thrive over the last 12 months? Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes, episode 413 with myself, Michael Burgio, Mark Novak, and special guest Jake Nolan from Woolcott Street, luxury bespoke tailors located in the city but servicing anywhere and everywhere. Really happy for this one. The world. Jake's a good friend of mine, so I've sort of been there having many late night conversations on a few beers of how business is, ideas, and just to see it just keep going and going and reach new levels, new team members on, talk about sales, talk about everything. I'm really happy to have this conversation with you today, Jake. Good morning.
Thanks for having me on, fellas. Really appreciate it, Mark and Michael.
Let's get into it. What do you do? Like, you're COVID. What if a curveball that would never have been in your first, like, you look at your business plan of, this is the first 1 year, 3, 4 years. There's no way there was a pandemic in there. How long have you been up and running, and how did this year go for you, lads?
So I guess we're in our 5th year of business at the moment. So we've polished off 4 years. We're in our 5th year. So I guess it came about during that 4th year. And yeah, mate, it was definitely a surprise. It was something that you can't expect or plan for, as you guys would know as well. And it's something that, I guess you have to sort of look at it in a different way and figure out how you're going to get through it at the end of the day. So yeah, it was definitely a challenge, but at the end of the day, I feel like you can use it to your advantage. You can thrive in a situation like that, and you can move forward. You just got to rethink and change your tactics and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Because
what were some of those pivots? Because normally business would have been on the phone calling people, come into the shop, you'll get fitted. That was sort of eliminated for at least a month or two. Was the progress you guys made, was it more focusing, using this time to focus on the business, or just sort of virtual fittings? Like where did you sort of pivot? What did you do?
Yeah. So look, we at the end of the day with our business in the CBD, obviously there's no one in the city to start off with. Like it was like a ghost town, right?
How was that firstly? Because you were in every day. You went to the office every day during COVID.
I went to the office every day. Yeah. So I guess for us, there was only 3 of us in the office. So it's not like we could practice social distancing. When we saw people, if we did see someone, it was on a one-on-one basis, obviously checking them in, signing their name down and working with them one-on-one and taking precautionary measures when you actually see them. So we could still see people in that regard. So it was just we obviously couldn't be as busy as what we were, having more than one person come into our showroom. But working one-on-one allowed us to get through that. It was more like, I guess the challenge of it was, if nobody's in the city, how do you get people to come and see us in the city? And obviously nobody was really having too many home visits or that sort of stuff, because they were again taking measures to be safe. So we weren't going out to visit people's offices and homes, and all the offices in the city were closed. So we still saw people, but it was just still on a one-on-one basis. Taking those measures to be safe, and that's how we, I guess, got it done through that period until sort of the city opened up and restrictions lifted.
It should be noted that you guys are quite a unique business. Like you're all very innovative. You're all in your 20s, and you're very from what it appears from the outside. From me, you guys are very traditional, although you are very very central and very fluid and very with the times. That you don't, how did you because over the last 12 months I wouldn't have imagined people in a 3-piece suit a lot. What was the product that was keeping you guys thriving through that period? Because correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Mark. So what it was like traditionally our client base were busy professionals. Was our main bread and butter, the people that we work with, people that wear suits every day and need to look smart, and are really busy guys, and they appreciated our service that we provided on the back end. So that was traditionally our bread and butter. But obviously, when COVID hit, these people were working from home, not wearing suits, probably more so sitting in their undies. On a Zoom video with just wearing a shirt or something, or whacking a jacket on for 10 minutes. So it's like,
lots of shirts only.
No, not at all. We still sold lots of suits. We still made lots of suits. But just our market shifted a little bit throughout that period of time when nobody was at work. It was more so seeing people who didn't have any suits in the wardrobe and needed a good suit for events that they were anticipating when COVID was finishing. So it was trying to get in front of those people, see those people more so than I guess the traditional person who works in business and wears a suit, 4, 5, 6 times a week. So that was where our shift in business came from throughout that period. Yeah.
Did your clients get fatter?
Actually, quite funny. Like, funnily enough, a lot of clients lost weight and got fit throughout that period. Yeah. A lot of clients actually, when I came out the other side, they were getting us to take in their clothing, fix everything up, or even they've changed so much that they need new stuff. So in order to fit everything. So, yeah. I
just want to tell the viewers just as a point, just to show how hungry you guys are with business. I remember when you told me this, probably when you first, sort of in the very early days, when you would actually go to people's place of business, you would go to their homes for the fitting. Like that blew my mind. Someone would call you for the suit and they would be like, well, I can get to you in 2 weeks' time. And you're like, no, I'll come to you. Where are you? And 2 hours away, you guys are in the car out there. Like, obviously for an agent going to someone's home, that's just not like normal. But I think, is that normal in the industry, or is that just from your hunger just to get shit done, get in front of people?
No, I don't think it's normal from a traditional suit business standpoint.
Yeah.
It's not normal, but it's more of a it's more of a way of just taking action and taking it into your own hands. Like, if you can wait for someone to come to you, or you can go to them. If they're really busy, by you going to them, it's actually going to save them a bit of time and hassle in the process as well. If they can't get to you for 2-3 weeks, then obviously they're pretty busy. So you can provide, I guess, value to them on the service side of things, just making it a bit easier for them. So that's where that sort of came from. It was more so how do we help people who are busy, because they are the people that we work with. They're busy guys. They wear suits all the time, and they don't have time to come into our showroom quite often. So, if they don't have time, then, they're going to like what we do on the other side of things, which is save a bit of time and hustle and go to them. That's where that came from. And it obviously takes being hungry at the same time to want to travel all around Sydney and go see people, and you get a lot of no's and that sort of stuff as well. So same as you guys, like, in a lot of ways, I see our business pretty similar to, say, how an agent operates in terms of with their client base, and with listings and showing properties and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of similarities between the two. I guess in terms of how the whole sales process works, how the whole from start to finish client, I guess experience sort of works as well. So yeah.
So, Jake, with the what people are wearing, has that changed? Like, are you still, if you look at 1 year to the next, has people's appetite for clothing with you guys changed?
Do you mean through COVID or just in general?
Well, from 1 year, the last 12 months to the 12 months before, are they buying, I guess it's a couple of things, are they buying the same style of stuff? Are they spending the same amount of money?
Yeah. So I think if you look at real estate in general, I don't think has changed too much, because there's a lot of industries that have been affected and they work from home and they're not wearing suits. But at the end of the day, like, the real estate industry has
I can't agree with you on that, mate.
Yeah, gotcha.
I can't agree. I see them. They wear socks now. They weren't wearing socks the year before.
So I think it like obviously depends on the agent as well. like it's someone who I guess had their way of doing things in a certain market. If their market's changed and their marketing to it and their client base has changed and they're trying to mix it up in terms of who they're getting in front of, maybe they have changed in terms of what they're wearing. But at the end of the day, I've still I work with a lot of agents who they're still wearing a suit every day. Whether that's changed like a tiny little bit, they're still.
And what is it? Traditional navy blues, you like greys? What are some?
I think it depends on the agent, and your market as well. Like for you guys, you're trying to represent yourself in a certain market and create a certain image, and that's what I find with a lot of agents is they've got a way of doing things and they want to stick to that because people sort of recognize the way that they look, whether they wear a navy suit every single day, and that's like, Jake, I wear a navy suit and that's my look. I want to keep doing this because that's how people recognize me in this market. Or I wear sports jackets and chinos because I deal with a lot of people who they want to see professionalism, but they don't want to see me in a 3-piece suit because they feel like it's too much for this sort of area and where I'm working in. So for me, I still need to look professional, and it's a pair of chinos, it's some boots, it's a sports jacket, it's a casual shirt with an open collar. I think it's very. Sorry, what we got?
Segue into, on top of exceptional service with going to people's doors, was the educational arm that you guys have been doing, you and your partner Michael, with the podcast, your live tutorial videos on what matches with what. And I think that there's a lot, as what you said, very similar to real estate, but very similar to what Mark and I love to do, which is educate people on what we do. And I see some very strong parallels between even us doing this show, talking about property, rather than just beating on our chest saying, we sold this, look how good this is. I see that you're doing something very similar with your videos on what to wear and what looks good and what's in fashion. Tell us how you got into that and just sort of how that's been.
Yeah, so look, we got into that when we were, myself and Michael got into that when we first started, basically because we were trying to think like, how do we relate to our clients, our customer base, how do we grow our business? And again, like you said, like if you just beat your chest all the time, it's not going to make people intrigued in what you do. It's not going to connect people directly to you. So how you do that is through, I guess, educating. And when we went through this sort of stage of not posting anything, not really doing anything, you realize that when you actually give away information and talk about and educate people, it gets people more interested in what you do. It teaches them, and it shows them things that they don't know. So it sort of it I guess connects them to what you do, and it shows. I guess it shows an audience a little bit of insight into the background, and it's not just on the front side of things where this is a suit, this is you buy a suit and that's it. There's so much more to it. Same with real estate, same with what everyone does. So I guess my
favorite one, Jake, to highlight an example, you were talking about when I was in my 20s, the suit guy showed me how to fold a jacket. Which you should never fold a jacket. I thought it should always be on a hanger, but he's like, mate, sometimes you're at a dinner or sometimes you don't have a hanger, and there's actually a way to fold a jacket without creasing the jacket. That's the sort of tutorial education stuff you guys are doing, which is so important in someone's life.
Yeah, it is, and it was like, I think it stemmed from when we actually see people in person. We do this stuff in our consultations, so. Like for us, when we work with someone, we want someone to understand everything about clothing and be educated along the way, and understand, different cloths, how garments are constructed, how to look after the garments, how to get more out of their garments. So like, there's no point just buying a nice suit and then just wearing it to death and running it into the ground. It's mental. So it's like, how can you get each garment that you give someone, how can you get more life out of it? How can you get them to have a better experience around their garments and change their habits around how they wear clothes so that they enjoy it more? So it's a learning process there, and that's where we thought, how can we how can we take this, and obviously we teach this and talk about this with our clients and people we work with, but how can we take this and, you know, teach other people who we don't necessarily work with but can benefit from it.
And I think that's key, because you take stuff that is basic to you and you make a video content out of it. Because a lot of people always come to us going, well, I don't know where to get started on social media. My business isn't right for social media. I'm not selling pretty houses or doing this. And a lot of people overthink it. And I think you guys are a testament to any business out there. You can promote your business via social media. What you think is too simple is not. Like in your industry, how to fold the suit jacket would be so like mundane. It'd be like, how do you not know that? But I reckon there would be a crazy percentage of people who wear suit jackets. I had no idea when Michael showed me how to breakfast, how to fold it. Like, I would be like, wow. So it's a testament to you guys to create that, to pull the simple stuff you guys do every day, put the video content, and people will follow. And when they're following for that, when the time's right for a new suit or a new a sports jacket, you guys are top of mind because they've just been following you the whole time through.
Yeah.
Well, your generations, my generation, your generation has changed, where it's the first generations where clothes were disposable, formal clothes. Because I remember my dad, growing up with my dad. Dad was, you know, a guy that was sort of, well, he would have been 90 now. It was his 15 years yesterday, actually. But Dad had maybe 20 or 30 suits. One of his dad's best friends was a tailor, and Dad wasn't a wealthy man, but he really appreciated good suits. Now, my point is that nothing got thrown out. He wore, for 40 to 50 years of his life, he wore those same suits and those same shoes. He never bought another suit.
Yeah.
He never bought another set of shoes. He had every colour, every style, but that would have saved a hell of a lot of money, a lot of cost up front, but on the other end, we don't do that anymore.
No, we don't. And I think, like, with that as well, I bet you he looked after his clothing as well.
Hard, like a crap. Like, you've never seen anything like it. You've never, like, if you would never. It was hung up. You had to hang it up upside down. You had to have the special things holding it, so it pulled the, you know. And then if they were crushed, you'd leave the belt in there so it would come out a little bit more. The jackets, the shirts, the shoes always had to have a shoehorn. Crazy.
Yeah. But that's just, it's a different mentality behind it. I think you're right with there. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, saying, oh, my suits don't last long. It's because you've got two suits and you're wearing one each day. And then you're not that's not how a suit's meant to be worn. You're meant to wear a suit once every 10 days, 10 working days, to allow it to recover from that wear, moisture to evaporate, creases to drop out, and odors to dissipate. And that way you don't need to, you don't need to dry clean your suits all the time. That's like, if you do that, if you have enough in the wardrobe, you're dry cleaning your suits 3 times a year tops, just when you feel like it. You're rotating between your suits. You're only wearing one suit every 2 weeks. And your suits are lasting absolute years, like to the point where you're like, I'm sick of wearing this suit. I might go get another one because I just want a refresh of how I look, rather than it's wearing it.
Best advice anyone can have out there on suits is what you just heard. From my opinion, that is incredible advice, and your mum and dad don't bring you up telling you that sort of stuff in Australia anymore. Times have changed, but that is a cracker piece of advice.
And just to wrap up, what's your favorite piece in anything that's coming out? I saw the low 3-piece you guys vest, but what's your favorite thing you guys are selling at the moment in any genre? What's got your eye?
Any genre? What's a favorite piece? There's too many, mate. There's too many. It's really like, I guess it's not what the favorite piece is for me. It's what the favorite piece is for the person that you're working with and what they want to use it for. So, you know, so many people are in different situations and they need suits and smarter clothing for various reasons, and it's nailing the reason that they need it for, whether it's like a really like bang on sports jacket whether it's just like a classic Navy suit, that they need for every day. It's really just getting the need for that garment right. That's what I reckon. But yeah,
well said. Find the purpose and then
find the
tailor it to
purpose.
that.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm putting your details in the chat so everyone can see your Facebook links. Check it out. Anything else you just want to add? But I think that's been great. Really good to have you on. Congrats on the engagement as well.
Thanks, mate.
Put that out there. All righty.
You guys had a big year. Survived in the turbulent CBD in what I would have thought would have been a turbulent suit business, and you got yourself married. You had a cracker year.
Yeah, more engaged.
We did.
Perfect, Jake. Love to have you. Good to have you on again. It's been a pleasure. Anyone out there needing advice or new suits, I'll put their contact details there. As you heard, they'll come to you, so don't worry that they're in the CBD.
Thanks, Mark and Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bud. Cheers.
Say legend.
Sorry.